Hi guys, it's Blackie from Shaman's Forge Bushcraft with another little tip of wisdom. And this one deals with weather. Now, I cannot speak to everywhere on the planet, but I can speak to here in the South. And I believe that this will apply to most weather, most rain storms like this. I've been on the Great Plains, I've been in the far north, I've traveled quite a bit around the country. And this has held true pretty much everywhere I've been. This is just a little tip to give you an idea. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but I got a pretty good bit of thunder right over here right now. I've got a storm coming toward me. Now, in a nutshell, what happens is the column of warm air, moist air rises up. It gets to a point, gets too heavy, and it starts falling down and becoming rain. That action of coming down like this, when it hits the ground, it spreads out like that. It goes so far, it comes down, hits, turns, and then it gets sucked back as an updraft and goes back up to the top of the cloud. So the cloud is in essence doing this. Okay? Now, how does that apply to you and me? At ground level, if you are standing here, the storm is in front of you, the wind is coming from your back going toward the storm, that is beyond the rain limit, beyond the squall line. That's the air being sucked. Let me get centered up here. Being sucked and going up the outside of the cloud. That rolling is causing suction and pulling air toward it. So it flows toward the cloud and then goes up that updraft. So the storm is in front of you, the wind's coming from your back going toward it. You are not in the rain pattern. Then suddenly the wind goes willy-nilly and goes from every different direction. You see it suddenly change from it's in front of you, it's behind you, it's left, it's right, it's whatever. You're at the transition line where the wind is going up and the wind is coming down and that rolling action is occurring, okay? You're within 10 minutes of rain when that happens. Because this wind boundary, depending on the speed of the storm, the strength of the storm, etc., is within 10 minutes of where the rain is actually falling, causing that draft. So, if I'm standing here looking at that storm and it's thundering and making all kinds of sound and the wind's blowing from my back, I will not get any appreciable rain. I may get some mist blowing from it, but I will not get any downpour rain out of that storm until that transition occurs. Watch for it. Notice it. Watch a storm coming toward you and suddenly you see the wind go every different way, and now the wind is coming from the storm toward me, because that's where the hit and turn. I'm now here. Hit and turn. So I'm right there. I'm within 5 to 10 minutes of the rain getting me. So how does this apply to us in bushcraft? I'm out in the woods or whatever. I can't see around my surroundings much, but I can hear that thunderstorm. I can look at the top of the trees and see the wind hitting toward that storm. I know I'm not going to get wet until that transition. It gives me a chance to throw up my little shelter or hunker down and wait it out. We've all practiced the 5-minute shelter. And so I've got my shelter right there ready to go. I can break it out, run a ridge line, pull back, hook 2 stakes, and be out of the rain in under 5 minutes. So I bought myself a little bit of time. I'm hearing the storm, I'm seeing the treetops, and then the wind goes back and forth, changes, comes chaotic, and now the wind's coming from the storm. I'm within 10 minutes. Get my shelter up. I get underneath it. The rain rolls over me, and I come back out. And I look on the backside. The wind is coming from the storm, from the storm, from the storm. Then it changes, and it's coming from the opposite direction, and then chaos, and then the wind's coming that way. I'm on the backside. It's kind of like, like my hat. It's coming up to me. Get in here. It's coming up to me. I'm on the outer boundary. This is where the wind becomes chaotic. I'm now underneath the storm. And then it becomes chaotic, and then I'm out of the storm. That's the way to read weather. Now, I know that sounds childish and stupid. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. I'm trying to speak to the people who have not had a lot of time in the woods and got wet a lot. We try to avoid getting wet. But when I was young, and I learned from woodsmen, guys that were out here a lot, and I'd hear a thunderstorm coming like that, and man, I'd be, Granddaddy, we got to go. And he'd say, it ain't going to rain. It ain't going to rain yet. Ain't time. And then suddenly, the wind would go here, and I said, okay, step over here. And we'd step up. He'd rig up a poncho right quick and be standing under it. 5 minutes later, the bottom would pour out. It'd rain like hell for 10 minutes or whatever. Then it slacked up. The wind went chaotic. He'd take down his shelter, shake it off, and we'd walk away. And I thought, man, Granddaddy knows everything. He was observing, using his head. He could tell what was happening. Grandfather didn't have any education in a school. He had a lot of education out here. And that's on wisdom I'm trying to pass on to you. I hope it helps, guys. Next time you're watching storm, notice it. Look at your surroundings. Pay attention to these little subtle changes. That's how you become weather-wise. That's how you keep from getting into trouble, is you notice what's happening. Like right now, I can tell that thunderhead has moved away, and it's not going to rain on me. The wind never changed, and it never went willy-nilly. It's come toward the storm, and now the storm has moved back this way, and the wind is still going toward it. I'm not going to get wet. This is Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft. Wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.